go!
All right, back at you guys again today. This is David, Express Auto. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, all that fun, wonderful stuff. Today we are going to be playing with a 6T70 transmission. This unit is coming in more and more often. We're starting to see a lot of failures on these guys. Typical complaints are lockup shutter. One of the biggest things we deal with is lockup shutter. Missing third gear, missing fifth gear, missing reverse. So some of the bigger issues with this transmission is the Tecum. They are known for pressure switch problems, known for solenoid problems. The valve body has a lot of really weak areas. Today we're going to take the valve body off of this unit, show you guys what the Tecum looks like, see what's inside of it kind of thing. We're going to go through the valve body and we're going to use a Sonax zip kit. Sonax zip kit comes with a lot of really neat stuff for this transmission. They've put a lot of work and a lot of time into making this thing very user-friendly. We're gonna show you guys what it takes to take it apart, clean everything, put the Sonax zip kit in, and reassemble the valve body. So we're gonna get started with taking the side pan off, pull the valve body out, pull the Tecum off. There's a lot of different size bolts and things going on inside of here. If you guys decide to get into one of these things, take pictures, buy a book. They make books for a reason. Download it on Google, whatever you gotta do. Call me, hell, I don't care. Make sure you pay attention to where your bolts go. If you don't put them in right, this thing will not move again. Make sure you know that. Throw away some of the leftover bolts from the last adventure. Gotta make cars lighter, less bolts. Job of draining it.
Hey, R&R guy, did you drain it?
I did. But I'm gonna bet there's still some fluid.
Oh my, yep.
Silver. I believe we've got converter material.
Oh, silver.
I like it. Hi-ho silver. There you go. I still think we ought to try to market this paint color. There is the fun stuff. This is the Tecum. And as previously stated, they have a lot of problems. I actually put one on this morning on another car, another Arcadia. Dang Arcadias. Bolt out here in a little bit. As I told you guys a minute ago, there's a bunch of random bolts, a bunch of different sizes. Give you guys an example here. All different length bolts, all different length heads. So make sure you guys pay attention to where those guys go. We're not gonna worry about it. We'll get the book out later. It's more fun that way. That should be all of our Tecum bolts. Oh, this one. Right there in the center. I missed the same one this morning. Dead serious.
I think that was the longest one.
Yep. We have a Generation 2. It does not have pressure switches right here. Something that GM done in their later years, which was a smart decision. want to take out. Getting close to the point of wiggling. Yes. Alrighty, and here is the valve body. Might as well dissect this guy. I'm gonna put this guy back together. Probably ought to keep them bolts out. So this guy has what's known as a bonded separator plate in it. You guys are going to be trying to take one of these things apart. One thing we like to use to get the bonded separator plate material off, this little white powder. It comes in a bag of magic. It's called Gasket Wizard. This stuff is really neat. You put the separator plate in a pan, fill it with water, pour that stuff in, mix it up a little bit, and in about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, that gasket and all the glue will be off that plate. No scraping, no using your little whiz wheel, none of that stuff. Just lay it in there and walk away. Pretty neat stuff. Other half of the channel plate there, you'll notice it's got these little plastic guys in there. That actually keeps the two plates together. The reason for that, down inside of here, you'll notice that there's little bitty pistons right here. I don't know if you guys can see that dude moving, but that's an accumulator piston right there. And there's a whole bunch of them in here. So, to do this correctly, you gotta remove those two little plastic dudes. And your overhaul kit will actually come with new ones. You guys buy a kit to do this entire transmission. Find my other pair of pliers. Somebody walked away with. I'm gonna go ahead and say that somebody was me, but may not have been. Get those two little guys out of there. Like I said, see the little springs down inside of there. End up with a whole bunch of little pieces. There we go. Now we can actually clean that dude. Go ahead and flip our valve body over. Some guys like to go through here and scribe a little mark on their valve body whenever they take these things apart to mark where all their check balls go. Buy a good quality kit, it tells you where everything's supposed to be. So we're just gonna flip that dude over and get all the balls out of the way anyways, because we're not gonna use them. Same thing on this guy as on a 4L60. Those balls cause plate damage over time, so we're just not even gonna use them. Make sure there's nothing else in here. We're gonna wash this stuff and we'll be back with you guys here in just a minute. All right, guys, we're back here again, playing with the 6070. Just done the valve body section on it. Now we're gonna take it apart and look at everything. Vehicle came in with a torque converter shutter. The only real things that we noticed on initial test drive was the torque converter shutter. The 2-3 shift didn't feel quite right, in my opinion. It may be fine inside, may have something to do with the valve body or the tech home or something, I don't know. But we're gonna take it apart and see what the rest of it looks like. Get our speed sensor out of there. Dang R&R guy left the mount on it. What a butt monkey.
Get what you pay for.
Need to start paying an R&R guy better. So many bolts. It's like working on a Chrysler again. Get old bit bar out of there. These trannies have a lot of different issues. One of the issues being the seals like to cut into the back of the drum, especially right down inside of here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I can feel it with my finger. There's actually quite a bit of ridge on the inside of that guy. One way to really identify it, you can actually, like right there's a ridge and right there's a ridge. You can see where the rings have been chewing on it a little bit. We're gonna take that dude on out of there. So this guy here is actually kind of fun to take apart. Couple of different ways to go about it. One of the best things you guys can do, buy a book. Yet again, buy a book. This set of clutches actually has to be pushed down to get the snap ring off. What we like to do is we like to put it in a press upside down like this. Use a power glide band, power glide band around the outside here. Push that dude down, and then you can pull that snap ring off. Piston, other piston, and pull the top snap ring off, pull your clutches out. We'll get to that part a little later on, but for now we're gonna go ahead and pop the center clutches out just to get an idea of what we're playing with here. Like I said, I didn't expect to find a lot of major damage inside of this guy, but there's still a lot of wear areas that need to be addressed. A lot of things that can go wrong inside of it. Clutches really aren't too well shaped just yet, but you guys can look at that bushing right there and you can see quite a bit of chewing on the bushing itself. So bushings are super important in this tranny. Go ahead and pull our planetary stuff on out. Come there, guys. Get my fingers to start working. Yeah, really not looking too bad so far.
Happens when grandma drives.
Yeah, we don't like to let a lot of people drive like Casey around here. Grandma's the best one. Another high wear area on bushings. I don't know if that's just our neck of the woods or what, but like even on the drive there, you can see where that bushing's been wearing on it. Definitely time for a set of bushings. Get that big old goofy snap ring out of there. Casey's favorite sound. Ooh, that one is not very ratchety.
One way.
Yeah, buddy. Rolls one way and locks the other. Definitely has some metal in it. Get a new sprag assembly for it. Come here. I've got to figure out where my needle nose pliers went. This piston is known for having issues. We've had them come in several times in the past where this piston will actually roll over on the inside of it. When that happens, you get really weird neutral to drive engagements or all kinds of weird stuff. So that is something to always replace. Before we flip this guy over, flip that bearing out of there. Whole reason to get that bearing out of there, if you flip this over and that bearing hits the bench and then your transmission case lands on it, odds are you're gonna break it. Probably needs replaced anyways, but
Well, it's gone.
it's just down the side of there. You'll see it again here in just a minute. It's leaking. Now then, this is where all the magic happens. Told you we'd find that bearing again. Pull out the little tube. Ooh, what we got here? Look at all that.
Metal.
That is definitely a lot of metal. That is not good.
It's all sitting right there.
see any major signs of bearing failure. Definitely needs a set of bearings, but I don't see a major sign of bearing
Pretty
failure.
good scarring on it.
Yep. Well, with that much metal up there, wonder what's in here. Ew. That can't be good.
Now I know where you get all your parts washer magnets.
Yahtzee. We didn't need that anyways.
What is this you're putting apart now?
This is actually the pump. So, whenever they built this guy, they had this grand idea to team up. I think they should have teamed up with like Yamaha or something like that. Wherever they teamed up with, they got a pretty sweet chain for it to drive the pump. This is actually the pump. I don't know if you can hear it in there talking turkey. Yep, definitely got a turkey inside of it. And there's another magnet, and same thing. That dude is just slimy with metal. I'm gonna bet that the inside of that thing is just full of it. You wanna take that thing apart? You wanna cut this filter open?
With a
See
hammer?
what we got? Dude, we can cut it open with a hammer. Or a sawzall, you wanna get crazy with it, we'll just cut it up with, what about just a pair of channel locks then?
Sure.
Okay.
It's your story.
I don't even know how to tell a story.
Is that chain normally that loose?
Yes and no. When we take that off of it, this is actually held in place by a washer on the bottom of it. It's got a nice little thrust washer, and it sits inside of that hole. And the pump splines actually keep that in position.
So it actually holds it tighter.
Yep. Use your favorite.
Chopsticks?
Get your favorite tools out of here. What do you think we're gonna find inside? Gold. Think we'll get some gold out of this one?
Doubt it.
Maybe this would be like the new thing for guys to steal his transmission filters. Get the shavings out of them. Be like stealing catalytic converters all over again.
Make anti-seize.
Make anti-seize. Oh man, make anti-seize. All right, moment of truth. Let's see what we got inside. There's definitely some flakies in there. Boy, that filter was plugged
All
up.
throughout it.
Oh yeah.
Look at that right there at that port.
Yep. Here's the crazy part. See what your pump was actually sucking up in this guy. This is directly out of the filter.
Nice. There's chunks in it.
Look at the metal flake.
Yep.
If we could figure out how to paint that color, dude, we'd be rich. Well, should we take the other part off? Let's take that other part off real quick, just so you can see what the other side looks like.
Teflon seal. Yeah, that thing has got metal all over it. Spins nice. So the converter, whenever it's spinning, is actually spinning this little guy, which is spinning that little guy, which is spinning that little guy, to move all that stuff where it's supposed to go. Well, that is the gist of the inside of this thing. As always, like, share, subscribe, all that fun, wonderful stuff. Don't forget to check out the upcoming videos in case you quit dying over there in the corner. Man alive, dude. Anywho, thank you guys, as always. Stay tuned for the next video.